All right, so in this packet, we have two units, two kind of mini units that we put together. The first one is exponent rules. The second one is exponential functions. So we're going to be dealing with exponents this whole packet. To help us with this first part, with these exponent rules, we're going to make a foldable. So you need a piece of paper. I'm going to walk you through how to make a foldable, and then we're going to actually write on it and fill everything in. So, first up, I need to fold it in half this way. Okay, now open it back up. And if I'm going too fast at any point, remember you can hit pause to stop and finish the step if you need more time. Now we're going to fold each side in to meet the middle. Okay, so right now we've got two flaps. Just to make sure. All right, here's the tricky part. We now need to fold it into thirds. So I'm going to fold the bottom part up and the top part down. Now before I crease it, I want to make them as even as possible. So let me turn it on this side so you can see. I'm going to rotate it a little bit and kind of turn it until I get them about as even as possible. Notice I have 3 layers here. 1, 2, 3. That's what you want. You only want 3 layers, not 4. Some people are trying to make 4 out of this. That's not what we're doing. Okay, so as soon as you get it as close to even as you can, go ahead and crease it. Mine got off a little bit. I'm going to adjust it. There we go. Okay, so now when I open it up, I should still have my 2 flaps on the outside, and I should see 6 different rectangles or squares here. Okay, so I need to cut or tear on these 4 lines right here. Okay, so you want 6 tabs. So we have 6 exponent rules. And remember we talked about this being like a war. So we have allies. We have enemies. We're going to strengthen our army. We have spies. We have bombs. And then this last one, I'm going to put simplify. We're going to put a couple rules in that one that go with simplify. Okay? Allies. So I'm going to open up this tab over here on the flap. Allies is when you are multiplying with exponents. Zoom in so you can see that a little better. One more time. Okay, I lied one more time. There we go. Okay. Allies. What do allies do in a war? They combine forces. What does that mean? In terms of math, we're going to keep the base. And we're going to add the exponents. Okay, so then in this section, we're going to write a couple of examples so you can see what it looks like. So for instance, x to the 8th times x to the 5th. Well, what's our rule? So we're going to keep the base, keep the x, add the exponents. So 8 plus 5 gives me 13. Okay. If I have b squared c to the 3rd times b to the 10th c to the 15th. This time I have two sets of allies. B's are allies with B's. So I'm going to keep my base, B. I'm going to add my exponents. 2 plus 10 gives me 12. My C's are also allies. Keep the base, C. Add the exponents. 3 plus 15 is 18. Okay, let's look at our enemies rule. So I'm going to close up my allies tab. Now I'm over on the enemies tab. So along the outside here, we're going to put the math part, and then on here we'll do the examples. So this is dividing. When we talk about enemies is when we are dividing with exponents. Okay. What do enemies do? Well, they hurt each other, right? When you have two enemies fighting, you want to know who wins and by how much. So our rule for this starts out the same as the last one. Keep the base. And when we were allies, they combined forces and added. When they're enemies, they're going to hurt each other. So we're actually going to subtract the exponents. Okay, so let me give you some examples. X to the 8th over x to the 5th. These are both x's, so they're going to battle each other. Who wins? Top or bottom? Top wins. They have more. They got more power. How much do they win by? How much bigger is 8 than 5? So what you're really doing is you are going to subtract. Whoever wins, that's where you write it. So I'm going to write x on top because the top beats the bottom. And subtract them. 8 minus 5 gives me 3. You can write over 1, but ultimately we just need x to the 3rd. Okay, let's try b squared c to the 3rd over b to the 10th c to the 15th. I got two battles going on here. I got the battle of the b's and the battle of the c's. So when I look at the b's, who's going to win? The bottom's going to win. So I'm going to write a b on the bottom. How much does it win by? 10 minus 2 is 8. Okay, now my c's battle. Who wins? Top or bottom? Bottom wins. By how much? 15 minus 3 gives me 12. If there's nothing there, there's a 1 on top. Now, up here, we could get rid of the 1. Can I get rid of that 1? I can't. So that is my final answer, just like that. All right, so that was allies and enemies. Let's look at strengthening. So this is what we call a power to a power. So when you're strengthening your army, you say everyone gets reinforcements. So our rule here is going to start out the same as the last ones. Keep the base. And this time, we're going to multiply the exponents. So let me give you an example. Get that to stay down a little bit. There we go. X to the 8th to the 3rd power. So I'm going to take this x to the 8th and I'm going to triple its power. It's getting reinforcements 3 times as strong. So I need to multiply 8 times 3. Keep the base, x, multiply the exponents. 24. Okay. What if I have b squared c to the 3rd, that whole thing to the 5th power? Everything's going to get 5 times stronger. So I have to take this and everyone gets it. So I need to, down here under multiply, I'm actually going to write one more word. Distribute. If there's multiple things, we need to distribute. So this is going to be b to the, distribute that there, 10th. C to the, distribute that there, 15th. Okay, so we're going to do one more here. If I have x to the 5th over y squared z, that whole thing squared, that means I'm going to double the power of everything in there. This squared on the outside. I need to distribute this to everything on the bottom. Actually, I'm going to change this problem. I'm going to add a 3 right there. 3x to the 5th. So I need to distribute to both parts on the top. And I need to distribute to both parts on the bottom. So the 3 doesn't have an exponent, so it's going to steal this exponent of 2. 3 squared. X has an exponent of 5, but I need to double that. So it's going to be x to the 10th. Y has an exponent of 2. I need to double it. 2 times 2 gives me 4. Z doesn't have an exponent, so it's going to take that exponent of 2. Okay, so now we're going to do the next rule, spies. Okay, so we're on the spies tab. This is our negative exponents. Okay. So what do spies do? They sneak across to the other side wear a disguise. So a rule for negative exponents is cross the line. That's the sneak across to the other side part. Change the sign. That's the disguise. Okay, so let me give you a couple of examples. X to the negative fourth. Okay, so first off, I don't have a line. So I'm going to put it over 1. So it needs to cross the line, go down to the bottom, and change the sign. So it goes from a negative 4 to a positive 4. Use a 1 as a placeholder on your on the top. Okay. B squared c to the negative third. Okay, remember you can always put it over 1. B is not a SPI. It does not have a negative exponent. It's going to stay exactly where it is. C is a SPI. It has a negative exponent, so the C is going to move down to the bottom. Cross the line, move it to the bottom, change the sign. Negative 3 becomes positive 3. Okay? X squared y to the negative 4 over z to the negative 7. Go through it piece by piece. X squared, not a SPI. It's staying. Y to the negative 4. There's a SPI. See that negative? That's its disguise. So it needs to cross the line, move to the bottom, change the sign. Negative 4 becomes positive 4. Z, cross the line. If it starts on the bottom to cross the line, it moves to the top. Change the sign. Negative 7 becomes positive 7. Okay. Last two, bombs. This is the best rule of them all. This is our 0 exponent rule. What's a bomb do? It explodes and goes away. Anything, no matter what it is, to the 0 power is 1. So if I have x to the 0 power, that's a bomb. It goes away. It becomes the number 1. If I have b squared c to the 0 over d to the 0 e to the 5th, I got 2 bombs. C to the 0 is a bomb. It's going to go away. D to the 0 is a bomb. It's going to go away. B squared is not a bomb. It's going to stay. E to the 5th is not a bomb. It's going to go away. It's not going to go away. So that's what we have. Alright, let's see. 2x squared y to the 5th z to the 27th over 36 x to the 12th y to negative 7 z to the 51st. Let's make that negative 51st. That looks like a fun mess, doesn't it? If I take that whole thing to the 0 power, there's my atomic bomb. Everything blows up, just becomes the number 1. All right, last one, simplify. So there's a couple different rules for simplify here. If you have a 1 as an exponent, and we've done this rule, we just haven't made it an actual rule. Anything to the 1 power is itself. So for instance, x to the 1 power, let's see if I can get that down so you can see that a little better, is just plain x. B squared c to the 3rd to the 1 power is itself b squared c to the 3rd. Okay? Then standard form. When we talk about exponents, we're talking about a single term. It's all connected with multiply and divide. So if you look at every single problem we have done so far, there is no plus or minus sign. There's no add or subtract anywhere in this. Okay, so when we talk about standard form for one term, you're going to start with the number first, and then put the letter in A, B, C order. So for instance, x squared z times 3y squared, I already have squared, let's make that to the 12th power. Okay, I'm going to put the number first, the 3, and then the letters in ABC order. So x squared, y to the 12th, z, because I want the letters in ABC order. So in alphabetical order, it goes x, y, z. So here's your whole foldable. Zoom out. So you need to take your packet, and on page 5, where it says exponents visual aid, you need to put glue on the back of this and glue that in right there. Got it? There you go.